It is even physiological argument in connection with this. The physical heart, so now I'm speaking about the physical heart, is mostly in the left part of the torso. We learned in school that is in the left part. It's not completely true. A little bit of the heart usually is in the right part of the body. 1/8 of the heart is in the right part of the body. Only the rest is in the left. And in that part, so in the right part of the heart, there is a nervous center, a special nervous central, the sinoatrial node, which directs those impulses for moving the heart. So the contractions of the heart are directed by this sinoatrial node, which exists in the middle of the chest, a little to the right. So in the right part of the heart. And this sinoatrial node controls the movement of the heart. It's true that the brain can influence this, when you are when you start running, the heart will start pumping more blood, so the contractions will be more intense. When you are relaxed, the heart is pumping less. So the pace of the heart beating are influenced by the head, by the brain, but the main pulsation is coming from this sinoatrial node. And this is a very special neurological formation which doesn't exist in other part of our being, and still for cardiologists, for the medical science, is a mystery from where this first movement came. Yes, physiologically there is a chemical explanation, but from where that first movement, which can be seen as the first movement of our entire being, what brought that first movement which made the heart pulsate and then the blood flow and all the activity of our being to appear. That primum moves, that it is said in Latin, first movement. What is the source of this is a mystery. So we can make a connection between the heart center in the middle of the chest, a little to the right, and this sinoatrial node. Still, Ramana Maharshi emphasized the fact that we should not identify this supreme self or this ultimate reality with the chest area or with the middle of the chest a little to the right. This is just a gateway. It's just like the pointer. We should not confuse the pointer with the reality which is shown. So focusing in the middle of the chest a little to the right is just a relative approach. When in meditation we go deeper and there is a detachment from the physical body, who cares about the middle of the chest, about the heart and so on? So indeed there is a point in which we detach from the body completely in meditation, and then you don't need to run or look where my middle of the chest is. You don't need. In that expansion of consciousness, you don't need to look for that. But as long as there is still an identification with the body, it helps to bring the attention in the middle of the chest a little to the right. The point in itself is not the absolute, it's just a point. The absolute is omnipresent, is infinite. This is just something relative. But as I said, is just a pointer to that. And is just a relative tool. At a certain point, we can detach from it. This point is not Anahata chakra. Anahata chakra in the tantric and yogic hatha yoga tradition is one of the energy centers, is in connection with the chest area, but Anahata chakra just expresses a part of the spectrum of these energies of our being. You know, the chakras are each in connection with some energies. This heart center, this pointer, is a pointer to the infinity, is a pointer to that totality, not about just a specific part of the energies of our being. So that's why we should see this, even though it's close to the chest area and close to Anahata chakra, which would be in the middle of the chest. Still, Anahata chakra can be seen as only as the resonating box of this reality, of this pointer towards infinity. What would be the relationship between the heart center and Sahasrara, because I just mentioned about this tantric approach? Sahasrara can be seen also as the crown center, can be seen also as a pointer to infinity, point from which the mind is transcended. There are simply two different approaches, the tantric approach with this kundalini and this jnana yoga approach, Ramana Maharshi approach, and many mystical approaches in which the heart is the main center or the main point of awareness. The tantric approach with the movement of kundalini can create this idea of a movement upward, something up or going beyond your body, so somehow looking for God or that perfection above yourself or above this body. While the approach of centering in the heart is about a sense of core, of intimacy, of not movement, no just being, just presence. That would be movement. Upward is superior than downward. The sense of the heart brings an equanimity in all this. There is no direction superior to another direction or so on. Everything is just centered, is beyond up and down, like and dislike, and so on. So I would say is a more profound symbol of transcendence, of intimacy of our being. Since the heart center is the place on which we should bring the attention as a way of also of letting go thoughts, is much easier. If you stay in your mind, it is quite difficult to detach from thoughts. But since the heart is such a place, then the witness consciousness, this seer, should be associated with the chest area, like this eye of the heart. In the esoteric Islam, Es-Sakinak. Es-Sakinak would be the great void or the great peace which resides in the heart. And it is also in connection with this observer or seer or witness consciousness. Placing the witness consciousness in the mind would be just something relative, because it's like making it just an object or making it just a thought. For example, if I keep the witness consciousness in my mind, I can imagine that I witness my thoughts with this witness in the mind. But then I can imagine as well that I have another witness that can witness the witness of my thoughts. And then I can have another witness that is witnessing the witness of my thoughts. And then a witness of the witness of the witness of the witness of my thoughts. And I can go like this as long as I can go in with the imagination in such a process. The point is that it is always just a linear and a horizontal approach in which there is never an ending point. It's like that myth of the ancient myths are speaking about the earth being supported by an elephant. Yes, question comes, but who supports the elephant? Well, there is a turtle who supports the elephant. Okay, but then who supports the turtle? The turtle is also, an ancient symbol related with this creation of the world. Well, the turtle is supported by another turtle. Okay, but that turtle, on which stays that turtle? Well, another turtle. And that turtle, the man said, well, you don't get the point. There are turtles all the way down. No? So it's like this. You cannot find that ultimate point of support. While if we bring the awareness in the heart, there is a sense of stability. Of course, we may say, I can imagine a witness of the witness in the heart. Yes, I can imagine with my mind. But when I take the approach of the heart, is that sense of stability. People who are just staying in the mind feel always confused, feel always lacking this stability, the ultimate stability. What is good and what is bad? Everything is relative. People who'd say like this, people who'd constantly say, you cannot really know what is good, or you cannot. All these are in connection with these values of the mind, or I try to go on this spiritual path, and whatever I see is like a mirror of myself, but then it dissolves, and then this also dissolves, and that also, and I feel that I don't have any point of support, and I don't know what, I feel confused, and so on. Yes, if we stay just in the mind and in the domain of personality, this seems like this. But if we open to that vastness of awareness, then there is the stability. That's why the heart becomes a point of support. And it is hard to be described in words, but still there is a sense of stability which love brings, which trust brings. This faith that can move mountains. Literally, there can be a faith, a trust in yourself, in the heart, in that divine nature of your being, that you feel that can move mountains, that there is nothing that can stop us. And it's not a belief of the mind, and it's not just about positive thinking, but is something coming from that depth of truthfulness of our being. For example, there is this affirmation of Groucho Marx. These are my principles, and if you don't like them, I can change them. It's like this, Always you have this relativity. I don't care. But when the value of the heart is there is this stability. So, indeed, there is a lot of flexibility in embracing the world, not really problematic aspects, but there is a stability. There are no negotiations. There is just something, when it's about the truth, in that truth, it's just this. Is, for example, there are people, smart people, people who rely on their mind, but they are just in this need for power, need for a social position, for money. Let's say the archetypal image of a politician would do whatever just to have more power. He would betray his friends, his family. This is the logic of the mind. It's just this ego. The logic of the heart would be different, and maybe the archetypal person would be a peasant. It can be a very intelligent woman or man, but also with that heart, with that connection with the earth, with nature, with animals, this compassion and love. And then for such a person, if you say, I'll pay you to betray your friend, betraying my friend? Never. Why? And then the answer will come, showing his heart or pointing, because he is my friend. Because he is my friend. So there is the absolute value. No matter how much money or so, he is my friend. People with the logic of the mind, they say everything can be bought. Every human being has a price or so. No, there are people who don't have a price because they are in that infinite wealth of the heart, in that stability. Kant speaks about this beauty, this sense of harmony, speaking about this moral compass or this inner moral compass. I'm not referring to a sense of truthfulness, to say, to not to lie because the priest told you. Or it's an inner moral compass, the spiritual moral compass, which comes from this witness consciousness, from this stability, from this trust of the heart. And Kant speaks about contemplating the sky, the starry sky above, and the inner moral order inside. So this supreme harmony, contemplating the starry night, the cosmos, the order outside and the order inside, this stability. This was such a relevant affirmation for Kant that it was written on his tombstone. This expression of the supreme order, of the supreme harmony, the cosmic order, the contemplating the starry night, the starry sky above, and the inner moral order inside. That sense of peace, when you are in trust, when you are in harmony, when you rest in that value of the heart.